So if you would like to share something or ask something or talk something, you just do this and then you appear on the screen big. So I'd like to, tonight we're going to focus on letting go of your thoughts. And so I thought tonight I would dedicate tonight's meeting to Divya. She's recently joined our community and she's struggling to let go of her thoughts. So let's see how Divya is doing. Would you like to share now, Divya, about the meditation? Divya?
Yes. Hello.
Good. I appreciate that you're the star of tonight. So what happened in the meditation?
In the meditation, Bob, what happened? Yeah, it was a bit difficult to go to look inside because I only took part in the third part of the meditation because the Zoom link didn't work. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but this is exactly the story of your situation, Divya. You see, if you had more respect for what you could gain from living in our community, then at least 10 minutes before, when we have mantra music, you will already have been online, sitting quietly, maybe sitting quietly already 10 or even 30 minutes before, but you didn't, and you appeared halfway through the meditation. And this is how you're conducting yourself in our community, which is why after 3-4 months in the community, you still have this very difficult situation where you can't really be quiet. So you've got to make a decision. You know, you made some decision to come to the community. So that was very courageous of you. And now 4 months have gone by and you still haven't really decided to go for it, to be here, to become quiet. So, you know, that's already 1/3 of your year because you already have a plan to leave after 12 months. So you don't really give yourself any chance, because if you don't decide to go for it and come into the flow of the community, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. You need the support of the other people of the community. You're surrounded by, I don't know exactly, about 6 people in the Spanish community. You can sit together in the morning and lunchtime, eat dinner together 3 times a day in silence. But I don't know if you take a chance of that, but I would guess you probably don't every day, because you haven't really made a decision what you're going to do in this community. Do you really want to change your life? The way to change your life is to meditate. But unfortunately, you're so attracted by your thoughts that actually you stay resolutely in your thoughts most of the time. Is that true or not? Because it's very difficult for me, although I'm trying to support you tonight, I know that everything I say to you, you take it inside into your mind and beat yourself up with it. So I don't even know what's the point of having a teacher when you can't let the teacher in. I'm trying to help you. It's very difficult to help somebody who everything that I speak to you, you take it and make a judgment against yourself. This doesn't really create anything of any value to you.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't seem to work. Yeah. I see
It
that.
doesn't work because you don't work, Divya. It works for many people, but it doesn't work much for you because
Yeah,
somehow
that's right.
you're resolute that you only trust the thoughts in your mind. So if you only trust the thoughts in your mind, how do you ever think that the thoughts in your mind are going to become less? They won't. They won't.
Mhm.
You asked in the last week if you could join the Vipassana weekend we were conducting in Denia. 2 days just sitting very quiet, blindfolded. And I was told that you did very well on the second day, that in fact, on the second day, you did in fact become quiet. You remember this?
Aha. I would rather say I became quiet on the first day, but yes, I became quiet, and it's for me. It's of course there was not much happening outside, so there were not too many things I could judge because there was just nothing, and then it was much easier to become quiet. And
Good. Right.
yeah,
So that can
and
give you
in the
that could give
flow of
you a clue, Divya. That could give you a clue because in your daily, things happen, but you don't have to be so involved with those things. You see, and if you're not involved with them, there's not much to think about. Make yourself involved with every little thing that anybody says. You then decide, oh, I must judge it. What did he say? Or do I agree with what he said? No, I don't really agree. I have another idea. It's all nonsense, all that, you see. You've been doing it already for 40 plus years. So that doesn't work. You know it doesn't work, but you still go on doing it.
Yeah, it's right. I see very clearly that it doesn't work when, I don't know, 10 people per day tell me what to do and what not to do. I really have this issue that I do not accept these people as an authority or something. If someone tells me you have to do this, you have to do that, don't do this, don't do that, I can't. Doesn't work.
You can't. So then nothing works,
Yeah, and when I'm sitting
You don't
quiet with
listen. You don't listen
Vipassana
to me.
weekend,
You
it's
chose
very
me as your
clear.
teacher after checking me out for, I don't know, 12, 15
Yeah,
years. You
that's
then
right.
chose me as your teacher, and you're here in John Davis community, and you don't even listen to me. And you don't listen to the people who've been living in the community, some of them 10 plus years. You don't even, you can't even accept what they say to you. Everything has to be judged inside Divya's mind. And therefore, you spend most of your time inside Divya's mind. But you're paying a huge price for this. And I've tried to explain this to you before, you see, but you just can't let go. You just refuse to let go. Everything has to be judged inside Divya's mind. Somebody says, can you help with the washing up? Well, then I have to think, do I want to help with the washing up? No, I don't. I'm going to bed early tonight. I'm a bit tired, blah, blah, blah. So you're in resistance to life most of the time. Everybody knows it. It's so obvious, except you don't seem to see it. And while you stay in that, then nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. So it's your choice. It's your choice. Okay, let's see if anybody else would like to share. If you'd like to share, just wave your hand. Oh, something's going on. Okay. Okay. I'm not very good at this. I probably need some help. Oh no, I've got it. I've got it. It's all right. It's all right. Okay, now I see everybody again. Somebody else like to share what happened in the meditation? Okay. Welcome.
Hello, welcome to you. Yeah.
You're Demian. You're
Yeah,
from.
I'm from Bristol in UK.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. It's
So
good to be here.
what happened when you looked inside?
There was a big difference when you said the word fall. That was like you actually said invitation to fall or something. And
Right.
that's it's like a trigger or something to sort of, yes, let go a bit more. And yes, that's been my experience. It's a letting go, a falling, a bit like someone falling off a mountain or something like that. It's a
Right.
it's a release.
You know,
Yeah.
recently I was watching some, I don't know what they call these guys, but there are guys who go up to very high mountain places. They have something on their back, a kind of parachute, and then they jump off this high mountain, and then they have a special suit and they sort of fly.
Yeah.
So they fly maybe for 10 minutes, and then they pull the right thing, and then their parachute brings them gently down.
Yeah.
And when they jump off, I see that inside me, I get completely scary because it's an enormous risk they are taking. It seems like an enormous risk. I don't really know, but I'm definitely not a person that wants to jump off mountains or jump off helicopters or planes or whatever they jump off. You know? But in some ways, it's not so dissimilar, you see, because when we really let go, it's a bit like jumping off a mountain. Certain trust is needed.
Yeah. I've read that people who have survived falls off mountains, they go through certain stages, and one is horror, I'm letting go, absolute shitting yourself panic of, oh my God, and then there's a release. And so that at a certain point they report back enormous expansive consciousness for a while of being really open, because they have let go. Literally, they've got nothing to hold on to. They're just in free fall. And then
some years ago, I lived in Sydney in Australia, and I was living in an apartment looking down onto a famous surfing beach. And when I looked down, there would be these guys bobbing around in the water, it's seemingly most of the day, for maybe a few seconds when they managed to get up on a wave and kind of coming on the wave, surfing on the wave, you know. But it was hours of bobbing around, seemingly, for just very few moments on the wave. And I often wondered why they do that. What is the attraction? But you see, in a way, it's a lot the same as jumping off a mountain, because in that moment on the wave, everything goes. The whole mind just stops. The mind just stops. You can't think, because if you start thinking on a surfboard, you're going to fall off the surfboard. So surfing is a lot about trusting, balancing, letting go.
Yeah.
And in order to let go, of course, you've got to have a fundamental understanding that all this in your mind is garbage. You see, it's garbage. But unfortunately, most human beings, they believe this garbage is who they are. I'm all this garbage.
Yeah. And it's the biggest joke, in a way, to discover that you've been carrying that around all these years, and to realize that I don't need to operate from up here. mind. It's much more, for me, it's much more down in the chest heart area, or that it's not up here so much. It's like, I like to think that my mind serves my heart rather than anything else. That's been my experience.
Right, right.
You know?
Okay.
And that came through letting go.
Right. Anyway, I'm glad that you could go deeper at the end. And it always amazes me that although we're on a Zoom meeting, it somehow people get touched and things happen for people, that they go deeper than maybe they thought they could go.
Yeah.
Okay, nice to meet you.
And you?
Now let's try again to get back. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I can see everybody. Maybe one more person. Somebody who would like to share. I think we have another English lady. Ah, she's good. Siri. Oh, your Apple computers.
No,
Siri,
it's
how do you pronounce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kerry. It's a
Kerry,
hard
Kerry.
C.
Okay. And
It's
you're
my first-
English, is that right?
Yes, I live in Kent. I'm currently visiting in Leverkusen in Germany. So
Oh, okay.
this is my first adventure, first time I became aware of your community.
Okay.
I sit in a circle within a spiritual church, and I've tried meditation, but I seem to, I've identified I appear to have some sort of fear of letting go, which is why this seems so interesting to me. That was the thing that I tried to focus on during the meditation, and almost as soon as I was focusing on it, it was lifted from me, and I felt better. And then when you asked us to go down a little deeper for the next one, I realized that my fear is that I can't fail. I can't be seen to be failing. I must people please. And then you asked again to go deeper, and I just realized that I haven't really got anything to fear insofar as failure, because how can I fail? I'm just me. But I'm so worried that I might not live up to everyone's expectations. I might not meet everybody and they might not all like me. I might not leave everyone with the best impression of me. And it's something I've been battling for a long time on. I've been working on myself for about a year or so now. But
well, the first thing that you could understand is there aren't any people. There appears to be lots of people that you care about and you want them to have nice judgments about you. But in essence, there's nobody. So this is a bit shocking, and you obviously haven't got to that point in your spiritual work. But if you continue, one of these days, you will have your own experience of nothing. It's like the one who you believe yourself to be, which is the person who's afraid to fail, who's afraid somebody might judge you in a negative way, or somebody doesn't like you, or. There are many, many things, many thoughts. And we're very involved with those thoughts because we believe that I am these thoughts. We believe this. We've always been taught this since we were very small. As we grew up, we were always taught that we are the thoughts and, of course, the body. And how could you ever imagine that's not true? Because everybody you meet has the same idea. And you very rarely meet anybody who tells you that actually nobody exists. You see, this is kind of shocking, you see. And you don't have to be too concerned about that tonight, because in the fullness of time, you will discover this for yourself if you keep moving, if you keep going. Because one of these days, when you would continue with meditation, you will suddenly, for no obvious reason, you will have your own experience of not being all these judgments and so on that you normally think of yourself. It will just fade away. It will just suddenly fade away, you see. So if it fades away, how can that be you? It can't be you. All that stuff can't be you.
Mm-hmm. I think
But
my
then,
fear is that I don't actually know who I am. I've been people pleasing and doing everything for everyone for so long. I almost have a fear of, well, I don't really know what I am, what I like, where I'm going, or what I should do. And I'm really lost at the moment.
so what made you decide a year ago that you would like to maybe change your life, or you would like to meditate, or I don't know exactly what you decided, but what caused that decision?
I rightly don't know. I think for me it was during the lockdown when we had the COVID, and I just realised that I was not interacting with anyone, and therefore I had no direction. Nobody was telling me what to do or who to be or how to behave. Yes, I had to work remotely, but other than that, I was really lost completely. Like, well, I'm working so hard, I'm saving for retirement, I'm desperate to pay off bills or whatever it is, that reason I'm working. And I kept thinking, well, when I did pay off this bill, did I feel good? No, I didn't feel any different. Well, if I pay off the next bill, am I going to feel any different? And I realized I didn't. And then I thought, I don't know actually what my retirement looks like. I'm saving so hard for it. It's meant to be this wonderful thing. But what is it I want? And I had no idea. And that
So
really
can I ask you, how long are you going to be in Leverkusen?
I will be here for about another 3 weeks.
Okay. And are you very, very busy every day?
No, I look after a French child in the mornings, the weekday mornings.
Because our community is about, I don't know, if you have a car, it's 5 minutes. If you walk, it's maybe 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very close. Our address is actually in Leverkusen. But we
I
live in a
noticed that,
small
yes.
village nearby. We live in a small village. We have a big house and a lot of people here. And I would suggest, if you like, that one afternoon when you're not working, you just show up here at any time as you like. You know?
I may? Okay. If I can, I will.
Well, you can. I'm inviting you.
Thank you.
And, you know, we're a very hard-working group of people. So you can just jump in if you like. If you come early enough, we have a meditation at 1:30 until 2. So you could sit with the other people in that meditation.
That would be wonderful.
But if you come later, then you can have lunch with us at 2 o'clock. And then after lunch, you can help a bit in the kitchen or potter around or talk to somebody. And if you like the energy here, because many people get very touched just walking into the house, you can come again another day.
Wonderful.
You can come every day if you like.
Well, yes, that would be wonderful to experience that. Thank you.
Good, good. Okay, and nice talking to you. Yeah.
And you, thank you.
Okay, now I'm doing very well tonight with my technical stuff. Okay, so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh God. Okay, here we are again. Okay, now I got the gallery back. So on this theme of letting go of your thoughts, we're going to watch another short film. It's about 2 minutes. And some particular aspects of letting go of your thoughts. And at the end of it, there's a short, maybe 30 seconds of a young woman from Ukraine who some years ago let go, or her thoughts were let go of, and you can feel with this 30 seconds that this is who you are when your mind stops. This is who you are when your mind stops. So what you're witnessing is a moment of self-realization, meaning that you come to your true nature, you come to the self. In India, they call it the self. We can call it our essence, if you like. Lots of things you can call it. But in those few seconds, please see how this woman is not doing anything. In fact, very rarely, instead of trying to do something, she's being done to. Okay, done to. Very beautiful. Okay, can we play the film? What are you going to lose, actually? You can't lose the self, right? You can't lose your essential nature. You can't lose that. So the only thing you can lose is all the garbage you store in the mind, which has been put there by the church, you know, the culture, the parents, all kind of stuff has put all this stuff inside you. So you have to let go of your mind by trying not to hold on to it. You live your life in that flow, and you don't have to decide, do I like the hot day better than the cold day? Why do you need to decide that? You don't. Just accept the life that's being presented to you each day. So gradually you have to give up your mind, not to give up your being, give up your mind.
It's more bigger and more beautiful than any words.
Every day?
Yeah, every day. Every day. Yeah.
So we're going to play this one more time. It's rather short, but I hope the young lady at the end touches you, what was happening to her. Maybe you could feel how she's almost gasping for breath, because what's happening to her is so amazingly blissful inside her that she can hardly speak. You can maybe sense this. So what's expressing through that young woman in that moment is the self. And this self is not something special to that young woman. This self is special to everybody. We all have the same self. So the invitation is that you can let go of your little personal stuff, the garbage of your mind. You can let this go in some kind of trust and fall into this other possibility, which, as you see from this young woman, is very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. It's so beautiful that once a moment like that happens to you, you can never forget it. Even if it only happens for a few seconds, you can never forget it, you see. And the possibility, the invitation is that you can live in that beauty every moment of your life. That's called self-realization. This is a pretty rare phenomena. It's a bit like discovering one of those Australian tigers who have been long extinct, and somehow one day you walk around the corner and you bump into one of these guys who are supposed to be extinct, you see. So these are very rare, very rare. You don't meet them in the pub or in the coffee shop, probably. Could do, but probably not. So the best way to meet these guys is to meet this guy inside of you. And therefore, meditation is the way to go. Because if you regularly meditate, slowly, slowly over a period of time, with regular meditation, your mind will get thinner and thinner. The thoughts will get less and less. They will gradually melt away. So this is how you can make your life extremely blissful and extremely lovely. And you can have a small taste of that at the end of this film, which we will show one more time now. What are you going to lose, actually? You can't lose the self, right? You can't lose your essential nature. You can't lose that. So the only thing you can lose is all the garbage you store in the mind, which has been put there by the church, the culture, the parents, all kind of stuff has put all this stuff inside you. So you have to let go of your mind by trying not to hold on to it. You live your life in that flow, and you don't have to decide, do I like the hot day better than the cold day? Why do you need to decide that? You don't. Just accept the life that's being presented to you each day. So gradually you have to give up your mind, not to give up your being, give up your mind.
It's more bigger and more beautiful than any words.
Every day?
Yeah, every day. Every day. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems that inherent in this is the trusting of something that's maybe bigger than the small world you have become conditioned to exist in. This me is very small, very, very small. Very safe, of course, because you're so used to this me. This me has been around for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and so on. So we're very, very familiar, and all this nonsense that goes on in our mind, we've become very, very familiar with. And even though all these thoughts, kind of thought structures, sometimes we could say, in your mind, makes you suffer. You feel bad, you feel pain, you don't like it. It's, oh God, again, I feel that I'm not good enough. Again, I feel somebody might be judging me, blah, blah, blah. So this kind of constant activity in the mind brings a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. So when you've had enough of that, my advice is jump off the cliff. What have you got to lose? Maybe you've already had 30 years of suffering. Jump off the cliff. Take a parachute, and jump off the cliff. That's it. Anybody like to comment or have a little chat? If you would, you can just wave your hand. Okay, we have Ronnie, who's a friend of this lady who's showing tonight. Can you speak, Ronnie?
Yes.
Okay, now we see you.
Yeah, I want to tell that I did it once. I was jumped from 2,000 meters in Nepal with paragliding. And it was really something unexpected, very strong feeling in the first moment. But then it was just like, who cares? There is nobody who can be care about anything. And it was just happiness over flying. So it's really a very strong moment. Then you feel that, I mean, there is no feelings, there is nothing, just flying. That's it.
Good, yeah, beautiful. This story reminds me some years ago in our community, actually already about 20 years ago in our community when it was beginning, there was a young man and he was very interested to join our community, but he had a lot of fear and he was very busy in his mind. So he told me, well, I really like to come to the community, but I have a grandmother and I'm looking after my grandmother and I can't just leave my grandmother. She's very old now. So this was his way of trying not to come to the community and not to change his life. So I said to him, no problem, bring your grandmother. Okay, so that didn't work. And then he said, but I've also got a parrot. I look after a parrot. I can't leave the parrot. I love the parrot. I said, no problem, bring the parrot. So then he brought the grandmother and the parrot. He couldn't escape anymore. He came to live in our community. But I noticed after some time that he couldn't really let go. And I challenged him. I said, my feeling is you need to swim across a river full of crocodiles. Off you go. I said, leave the community now, go away, find a river with some crocodiles. I mean, that was in Germany, so of course there aren't many rivers with crocodiles, and see what happens. And it was very beautiful because he came back after some weeks telling us, well, I was driving along and I didn't find any crocodiles, but one day I saw a sign saying skydiving, something like skydiving. So he went up in a plane and jumped out of the plane, you see, with a parachute. And this was really, for him, it was incredible. It's an incredible thing, you see. I don't know, I don't remember what happened to him. Unfortunately, it was almost 20 years ago now. And I meet many, many people. But at the time, it was so lovely to see that he did something that he could never have imagined himself doing. A deep letting go. And I don't know what happens when you jump out of an airplane. I guess for some moments, you feel incredibly scary. The same as jumping off a mountain with a hang gliding, the same as these guys doing this flying, same as being on a wave. Nowadays there are kind of championships where they compete to go on the bigger and bigger waves. And there are certain places in the world where all these surfing guys, they know where to go to get the biggest wave. And so there's this incredible situation where sometimes they're surfing down almost mountain of water, which could crash down on top of them, you see. So this is letting go. This is letting go, see? And when you actually take a step to let go, then nothing terrible happens. In fact, something wonderful happens. Because
Exactly.
suddenly you have a taste of your own essence, which is always there. It's always there. It's always available. And when your mind stops, you don't drop dead. Your body doesn't die.
Yeah.
Does it? It? No.
Yeah, the most important thing that all fears disappear. So, I mean, or
But
disappear that one who has fears, actually, maybe.
right, right. Exactly.
And you know, I remember very well that at the moment when I didn't afraid anymore, I was screaming, "I'm a queen!" and
That's why we call you Rani. Rani. Rani in Hindi, Rani means queen.
This I remember.
Right, right. Yeah, you have some destiny about being Rani, I think.
It looks like.
All right, all right. Okay, good. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Okay, somebody else like to share? Okay, we're back to Bristol again. Bristol, England.
I'd just like to say, in my experience,
I've done something. Can you come and see me? Oh, I've pressed the wrong thing.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Just wait 1 second. I need to be technically rescued.
Okay.
Just wait 1 moment. I've clicked the wrong place. Okay, good. Okay, so just a moment. Okay, now we got you. Yeah.
Okay.
Go
Can you hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Great. I'm just going to say, I'm really glad you threw in the idea of a parachute when you said jumping off a mountain, because otherwise it appears like extreme sport scary. But there's a place not far from me where people do hang gliding every time the wind in a certain direction with the hills, and you see them sort of running into the wind off the hill, and they go round and round and round like that. Then the next weekend you might see them again, and they're doing that every time. So, and that's been my experience. It's been over a period of time I've slowly let go, and little whoop, wow, and then you get the big ones, you know, sort of the bigger hills, if you like the bigger drops. But
yeah, I think what you're saying is
I don't want people to get the idea that you have to go into this is an extreme letting go sport, that you're thing. That in my experience it can be much more gentle, but that's
of
you
course,
still have
of
to.
course. I mean, for example, it can be so gentle you hardly notice it, you know.
Exactly,
It doesn't have to be some sort of dramatic moment. You know, I'm using a sort of hang gliding and surfing only to give a sense of a possibility of letting go, you know. But in reality, if you do maybe twice a day, you do a 10-minute meditation, just sitting quietly like we did at the beginning of this meeting. Already, I can guarantee after 3 months, every day, twice a day, after 3 months, you'll feel different. You'll notice that you're different. And probably people who you are close to will even tell you that you seem to be different. You see, kind of subtle thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And if you then continue for some more 3 months, I mean, everybody is different, so I'm not going to suggest how long you have to do it. But anyway, if you continue to do that, then there'll come a day, there'll come a moment when it's just become kind of empty. It's like the thoughts that have been giving you suffering for years and years and years, suddenly these thoughts have come to peace, or they've come to emptiness, or they've come to silence, whatever word you like. But basically, these thoughts simply come to nothing. There's no more thoughts.
Yeah,
which is always very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Good, good. So you're probably a regular meditator, are you?
Yes, and it's not necessarily sitting down and meditating. For instance, I do Tai Chi, which is another way of, but in movement,
Right.
focusing and having the mind emptied by focusing on going through a certain form. That I found that very helpful. Or just sitting and
Tai Chi is very, very lovely. I mean, when you watch a group of people conducting Tai Chi together, they have this enormously beautiful, slow movement.
Yes.
It's like silence moving. I remember years ago when I first started my spiritual work, I used to do that every day for an hour or so in an ashram. And as you're rightly saying, this is a meditation. It's a slow moving meditation.
Yeah.
There are many ways to meditate. It's not just to sit and look inside as we did at the beginning of this meeting. There are many different approaches to meditation, and we can discover what suits us, what we feel good with doing. And if you keep doing any particular technique of meditation, it will take you to the point where everything in your life becomes a meditation. Washing the dishes is a meditation, cleaning the floor is a meditation, eating your food is a meditation. In fact, the whole of the life becomes a meditation, because what's happened is that gradually you're taken into no mind. As I was saying in this film, you don't have to decide if you prefer hot or prefer cold.
Yeah. It's like the experience of being in the now for long periods of time, and noticing when you come out rather than whether you're still in. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is the possibility. This is the invitation that we're not living in the past, which is all going on in the garbage of our mind. We're thinking about the past. We remember the past. We judge the past. And it's not about the future. It's just being now. And when we're really now, then, in fact, we naturally come to peace.
Yeah.
It's very, very simple, but of course, it's not so simple in practice. And that's why I was talking to this lady in the beginning of the meeting, that it's not easy, but you have to make some decision. You have to understand enough to make a decision. And then gradually you will find yourself coming to what you're deciding. Good, good. Okay, now we go back. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing again. Yeah, good. So somebody who perhaps I don't know. We have one or two people. Beatrix, would you like to have a chat with me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I think you're gonna meet me in India, is that right?
Yeah, That's right. I will come to India and sharing 3 weeks with you.
And
I'm looking
where are you
forward.
living now? Are you in Germany?
Yeah, I'm living near Frankfurt. I'm working in Frankfurt.
Okay.
And since years we are coming to the sky house in Hittorf.
Can you just stop a moment? We have a technical problem, or I have a technical problem.
Beatrix?
I can't really hear you.
Beatrix, do you have some headphones? Because somehow the microphone of your computer is giving quite a huge audio.
Sorry, I don't have it. Don't have headphones.
Mm.
Okay, well, perhaps we talk another time because it's not possible to hear you at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Next time.
So anyway, it's nice to see you, and perhaps we talk again, and we'll have a lot of time to talk in India, of course. Okay. All right, so how are we doing? Somebody like to join in a little chat? You just like this? So I'd like to invite Bianca. Would you like to have a little chat? Bianca has recently been volunteering in the community. I don't know her so well.
Yeah, sure. I would like to do it in German. Maybe someone can translate.
Okay. Go
Ja.
ahead in German.
Ja, ich bin jetzt eine Zeit lang hier und kann beobachten, wie viele Gedanken ich eigentlich habe und wie oft ich gar nicht in meinem Körper lebe, sondern in dieser Gedankenwelt. Und das habe ich vorher nicht wahrgenommen. Und jetzt, wo ich das wahrnehmen kann, spüre ich schon fast Schmerz. Also es tut einfach weh, es brennt. Und
So I'm here since some time, and I become more and more aware how much I'm living in my mind, and how often I'm living from in my thoughts, and it's almost painful to realize this.
Yeah, it's a very courageous moment. You're pretty young. I can't remember what you told me, around maybe you're around 30, I can't remember, but you know, suddenly you realize, wow, for 30 years I've been living in my mind. I've been going to the garbage tip and sorting out the bottles and the plastic bags and all the rest of the rubbish, and I've been calling that me. So this is pretty shocking. And of course, by coming into our community without anybody particularly telling you all this, you're discovering it for yourself. That's very beautiful.
Ja, also das ist ja ein sehr mutiger Augenblick für dich. Also 30 Jahre lang bist du jeden Tag zur Müllhalde gegangen und hast die alten Flaschen und die Plastiktüten und alles sortiert. Und dir ist die ganze Zeit überhaupt nicht aufgefallen, dass du dich in diesem ganzen Müll aufhältst. Und jetzt bist du hier in unserer Gemeinschaft und ja, seit einiger Zeit, und du entdeckst das jetzt für dich ganz alleine, ohne dass dir jemand das sagen muss. Das ist doch wirklich toll.
Ja, ich denke, das ist toll. Ich empfinde einfach viel Wut, weil ich das Gefühl habe, ich verstehe das alles, aber ich kann mich nicht fallen lassen und ich kann es nicht loslassen und ich will es einfach, glaube ich, zu sehr. Und das ist gerade.
So I feel a lot of anger because I understand all this and I really like to let go, but maybe I want it too much because I can't.
Well, of course, you can't just, I mean, now you're, I don't know, you've been maybe 2 weeks volunteering in our community. And in this 2 weeks, just by observing, you're able to see more and more how busy you are with the garbage. And before you came to our community, you didn't think it was garbage. You thought this is you. You've been always told that's you, that's you. And in fact, you studied psychology. So you've been studying this garbage for many years now. Reading
Also du
books
bist ja jetzt
about
seit
it, theorizing about it.
Du bist ja jetzt seit 2 Wochen in unserer Gemeinschaft und ja, jetzt plötzlich fällt dir auf, dass du dich viel in diesem Müll aufhältst und vorher ist dir das überhaupt nicht aufgefallen. Vorher war das für dich vollkommen normal, weil das alle tun. Und du studierst ja auch Psychologie, das heißt, du studierst den Müll sogar.
You're an expert on garbage.
Du bist eine Expertin in dem Müll. Müllexpertin.
Of course, the world needs experts on garbage.
Natürlich braucht die Welt auch Müllexperten.
You can get a very well-paid job being an expert on garbage.
Man kann damit sehr gute bezahlte Jobs kriegen, indem man ein Müllexperte wird.
People will come to you and offer you a lot of money to help them sort out their garbage.
Die Leute kommen und bieten dir sehr viel Geld an, wenn du ihnen hilfst, den Müll zu klären.
A great career ahead of you.
Eine großartige Karriere, die da vor dir ist.
Ja, also dadurch, dass ich das jetzt alles entdecke, kommt so eine Willenskraft einfach in mir, dass ich springen will. Also es ist irgendwie, es gibt da keinen Ausweg für mich. Ich spüre einfach, da geht nur noch ein Weg hin und es wird nicht einfach, weil das alles loszulassen einfach so viel Beobachtung noch erfordert, damit ich das überhaupt erkennen kann. Und dann
So to realizing all this, there is a sort of willpower growing in me. The sort of just wanting to let it all go and to jump.
Yeah, well, you know, that's encouraging sign because of course, you know, we live in a world or you know, you're living in a world or you've been living in a world which is like an enormous toy shop. And in this toy shop, there are so many possibilities. We're offered this one, we're offered that one, very exciting. And we can spend our whole life chasing after these toys, you know, to play with these toys. Or if you want to see it in another way, it's like a candy shop, you know, with so many varieties, so many flavors. But this isn't going to help you to discover who you are.
Also das ist ja sehr ermutigend, weil die Welt, die ist wie so ein riesengroßer Spielzeugladen. Und es gibt unglaublich viele Möglichkeiten zu spielen oder man könnte sagen wie ein großer Süßigkeitenladen mit unglaublich vielen unterschiedlichen Geschmäckern und Farben. Aber das hilft dir nicht herauszufinden, wer du wirklich bist.
ja, das spüre ich, dass ich diese Identifikation, ich habe immer gedacht, ich verstehe das alles schon und ich bin nicht so stark identifiziert und jetzt merke ich einfach, dass das gar nicht stimmt, sondern dass ich total identifiziert bin mit so vielen Dingen im Außen und das fällt mir einfach auf.
Before I thought I understand a lot and I'm not so much identified. But now being here, I can see that I'm identified with so many things.
Yeah, I mean, there is a value in going to a monastery. There is a value
Ja, es
in
gibt
going
ein,
to an ashram. And also there's a value in going to a teacher who is living in his essence. There's already the possibility that you quickly can get a lot of benefit. So, for example, our community has been running for 20 plus years, and there are many people living here who've been here for, I don't know, 10, 12 years. So in this house, when you just walk into the house, there is a different vibration. I was inviting this English lady who just come to live nearby. There's a different vibration in this house. And outside in the community, in the society, there is another vibration. And you have been living in the society for around 30 years. So your system, your energetic system, because you're not just a solid block of something, actually you're a very kind of complicated and sensitive energy system with energy kind of flowing around and flowing through and all that, yeah? So that energy system out in the society has learned to vibrate at a certain frequency. When you come into our
so, es
community,
gibt hier ein, just a second, please.
sorry.
Es gibt hier einen großen Wert da drin, Zeit in einem Kloster zu verbringen oder in einem Ashram zu verbringen. Und es gibt auch einen großen Wert da drin, einen Lehrer zu haben, der in einer anderen Frequenz vibriert sozusagen. Und hier in der Gemeinschaft ist es ja so, dass viele Leute hier schon seit 10 oder 15 Jahren leben. Und das heißt, die ganze Frequenz hier an diesem Ort ist eine andere. Und das merkt man oft schon, wenn man durch die Tür kommt. Weil in der Gesellschaft gibt es natürlich auch eine Frequenz und das ist eine ganz andere Frequenz.
Ja, das kann ich deutlich spüren, also den Unterschied. Das habe ich alleine, wenn ich rausgehe und hier wieder reinkomme. Also ich habe den Space hier einfach, um mich zu beobachten. Wenn ich in der Gesellschaft bin, dann zieht mich alles immer nach außen und dann komme ich gar nicht, wenn ich mir das nicht vornehme, dann bin ich gar nicht in meinem Körper. Und hier bin ich die ganze Zeit bei mir und deswegen erkenne ich eben viel.
Yes, I see this very clearly when I'm out in the world. The energy pulls me a lot out, and I'm not so much in my body anymore. And when I'm here, there's an enormous support to feel myself and to look inside.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point of our community.
Ja, das ist der Grund unserer Gemeinschaft.
It's this kind of scientific decision that has brought this community together. My sister believes that I'm some kind of religious fanatic.
Also das ist so wie eine wissenschaftliche Geschichte, die unsere Gemeinschaft zusammengebracht hat. Meine Schwester, die glaubt, dass ich irgendwie sowas wie ein religiöser Fanatiker bin.
And before her, my mother, when I first went to an ashram in India many years ago, my mother used to write me letters saying, you know, what are you doing with your life, sitting in the sun, doing nothing?
Und als ich früher in einem indischen Ashram gelebt hatte, hat meine Mutter mir Briefe geschrieben, da stand immer sowas drin, was machst du da? Sitzt du einfach nur in der indischen Sonne rum und tust überhaupt nichts.
Come back and become a useful member of society.
Komm zurück und werde ein nützliches Mitglied der Gemeinschaft, der Gesellschaft.
We spend lots of money on your education. We don't want it to be wasted.
Wir haben so viel Geld in deine Bildung investiert, das möchten wir nicht, dass du das jetzt alles verschwendest.
And unfortunately, my parents, who were actually rather nice people, they got very, very upset about me. And, you know, gradually our connection was more and more difficult.
Und meine Eltern, die eigentlich sehr nette Leute waren, die wurden immer ärgerlicher mit mir und unsere Beziehung wurde immer schwieriger nach und nach.
So I was very happy the other day that you brought your mother to visit the community.
Ich fand das sehr schön, dass du deine Mutter mitgebracht hast, hier die Gemeinschaft zu besuchen.
So you're very lucky to have the kind of mother who can come and visit And I think from what she was saying, she could feel something was very nice in this community.
Du hast großes Glück, dass du so eine Mutter, die du mitbringen kannst. Und von dem, was sie gesagt hat, konnte sie auch etwas spüren hier in der Gemeinschaft, was sie sehr schön fand.
Is that right?
Stimmt es?
Ja, sie hat sich vorher gewünscht, dass ich meinen Masterstudiengang zu Ende bringe und dass ich arbeiten gehe und das alles nutze. Und als sie hier war, hat sie danach zu mir gesagt, dass sie spürt, dass ich meine Zeit hier nicht verschwende und dass es keine schlechte Idee ist, hier zu sein und warum ich überhaupt noch überlebe.
So before she wanted that I finish my master and that I use all this study and get a good job and all these things. But when she was here, she said she can understand that I want to be here, and she has a feeling this is not wasted time to be here, and she was wondering why I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, well, that's great support, you know.
Ja, das ist ja eine großartige Unterstützung.
My mother didn't tell me anything like that.
Meine Mutter hat mir nie sowas gesagt.
So, you know, I always had this pressure, you know, that I knew my parents were very unhappy about what I was doing.
Ich hatte immer diesen großen Druck, dass ich wusste, dass meine Eltern sehr, sehr unglücklich waren mit dem, was ich tat.
Because when this thing starts to happen that is maybe starting to happen for you,
Weil wenn das so geschieht, das, was bei dir geschieht, vielleicht,
it's not so easy actually.
das ist nicht so leicht.
Because unfortunately, the mind doesn't just disappear in 5 minutes.
Weil der Verstand sich nicht in 5 Minuten auflöst.
And as you become quieter, it's almost as if the mind gets louder and louder.
Und je stiller du wirst, es fühlt sich dann so an, als ob der Verstand immer lauter und lauter wird.
You know, you probably experienced going in a room and being in a room, maybe talking a bit or something, and then you stop talking and you just become quiet, and suddenly you hear the clock ticking, tick, 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 and you never heard it before.
Du kennst das vielleicht, du kommst in einen Raum rein und wenn du dann aufhörst zu reden, wird es dann still und dann nach einer Zeit hörst du plötzlich, wie die Uhr tickt. Und das war dir vorher überhaupt nicht aufgefallen.
So one of the things that starts to happen is that fear can arise.
Und dann kann es geschehen, dass Angst aufkommt.
Because maybe for 30 years, people have told you, get a good job, you find a good husband, study for a master's degree, blah, blah, blah.
Weil dir 30 Jahre lang die Menschen erzählt haben, studiere, finde einen guten Job, finde einen Ehemann, mach dein Master's Degree.
You remember this lady from England who's living in Leverkusen. She was saying, you know, that during the time she was staying at home during COVID, nobody was telling her what to do anymore.
Die Dame eben, die hier auf Zoom waren, die gesagt hat, während der Covid-Zeit hat sie festgestellt, dass niemand ihr mehr sagte, was sie tun sollte, als sie alleine zu Hause war.
Most human beings in the society, they spend all day, every day, being told what to do.
Die meisten Menschen in der Gesellschaft, die verbringen den ganzen Tag damit, das zu tun, was ihnen gesagt wird, was sie tun sollen.
And then when suddenly you're not told what to do,
und dann, wenn einem plötzlich nicht mehr gesagt wird, was man tun soll,
the mind starts to come out and kind of try to grab you again.
Kommt der Verstand und versucht wieder nach dir zu greifen.
Are you really sure?
Bist du wirklich sicher?
Maybe you're being misled.
Vielleicht bist du in die falsche Richtung geführt worden.
All these people have been telling me that I should get a good education.
Alle haben mir immer gesagt, dass ich eine gute Bildung haben sollte.
You know, if I think about my own case, I was studying to be an engineer, so I have a degree for engineer. Then later I became a degree to be an architect. And finally, I became a nobody.
Also wenn ich über mich selber nachdenke, habe ich erst Ingenieurwesen studiert und bin Ingenieur geworden. Danach bin ich dann Architekt geworden und schließlich bin ich ein Niemand geworden.
So already since many years, I'm a professional nobody.
Also seit vielen Jahren schon bin ich ein professionelles Nicht.
But I've got my degrees, so of course, I've got them in my pocket if I need them.
Also meine Examen, die habe ich in meiner Tasche, falls ich sie nochmal irgendwann gebrauchen sollte.
But I haven't used them for more than 50 years, so probably I won't start using them in this life.
Also ich habe die letzten 50 Jahre nicht gebraucht, also ich glaube nicht, dass ich die in diesem Leben nochmal benutzen werde.
Anyway, I'm joking, of course.
Ist natürlich ein Spaß.
But there is some kind of fear that can rise up.
Aber es gibt natürlich Angst, die aufsteigen kann.
In a way, I could say that there's something maybe a bit natural about this fear arising.
Also das ist etwas Natürliches, könnte man sagen, bei dieser Angst, die da aufsteigt.
Because although we may be suffering in some kind of mindy, garbagey stuff,
Obwohl wir vielleicht leiden an unserem Müll im Verstand,
there is something also a bit comforting from that.
und es gibt da auch irgendwas, was sehr, ja, angenehm daran ist.
And when this starts to fall away, there can be some kind of fear because the ground, the foundation suddenly starts to break up.
Und wenn das plötzlich wegfällt, dann kann Angst hochkommen, weil plötzlich das so ist, als ob der Boden zusammenbricht.
So this can be something that will happen to you, or maybe it won't happen to you.
Das kann etwas sein, das vielleicht bei dir geschieht oder vielleicht auch nicht.
Let's see.
Wir werden sehen.
Okay, is there anybody else who'd like to?
Ist da noch jemand, der...
So maybe we come back to Kari in Leverkusen. Are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
We haven't shocked you too much.
No, I was surprised at your opening words to the Spanish lady. Apologies, I can't remember your name. But you're right insofar as one has to fully commit to a change for it to happen. And it's very difficult to recognize that there are problems, that you have got issues that you don't quite think the same as the rest of the world, and maybe there's more to come, and maybe there's more to it. So it's been very interesting this evening. Thank you to everyone that's shared.
Okay, well, if you make it to our community, I'll give you one of our books.
That sounds like a plan. Thank you.
There's a bribe, there's a little bribe for you to mosey down here.
Okay, I'll get there. Don't worry. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, so I would like to see how the lady who I'm dedicating this evening to, I wonder how she's doing. Oh, Divya, are you still? Oh, you're still there. Good. Shall we have a little chat just to make sure that I haven't upset you too much?
Yeah, well,
How are you doing? And who are you anyway?
it's like that. As I mean, it's still the same. In the year before I decided, or before I came to the community, I made some experiences of opening. I experienced some doubts dissolving. I felt a bit my heart opening. And then from the moment I moved into the community, I started to build up even more walls than I had before. And it doesn't work. And meditation doesn't work, and this self-inquiry didn't work. This what you call support, that people call me every day and telling me, what are you doing? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You couldn't do that. It makes me crazy, and it builds up more resistance and more of everything I don't want. It just doesn't work. So yeah, it's really difficult. Yeah. And
Well, just from what you're saying now, it seems to me that you're very determined that it doesn't work. So it's a good thing you kept your job and you kept your apartment so you can
told me
escape
that
again.
it doesn't work, and it does not work. I mean, you just.
But it doesn't work because you hold on to all this garbage. This is your life. You love all this garbage. Jump off the cliff, you know. Take a little risk, you know, like you did last weekend. You asked, "Can I join the weekend Vipassana?" So you had 2 days just sitting quietly with a blindfold, and that was probably a very good jump for you. Was it?
No, that was not a jump. That was easy. The jump is when
keep doing it every day then if it's so easy.
All the time. This is what I cannot do. I can sit quietly, and this is not when there's nothing happening outside. It's very easy. Put me in a forest and I can sit there. It's no problem. But in this busy community where every time, I mean, you were just telling that outside in the world you're always told what to do, and then here in this community, I'm always told what to do and what not to do. Everybody seems to tell me what to do and what not to do. So I can't deal with
I think that indicates that people care about you, Divya. You know, people actually care about you. And maybe you can start trying out how would that work if I said yes to a week to all these people.
I try to say yes as much as I can. I can't do better.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah,
so
only bullshit plopping out of my mouth. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
We've got Om. By chance, we have Om on the screen. Would you like to give Divya some of your abundant advice right now, which she won't like very much, but why not?
She unfortunately just left the meeting, so.
Right.
Okay. So let's see.
Okay. Well, next time. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you. And I wanted to say a couple of things. We'll have another meeting next Thursday at the same time. And next week on the 25th and 26th, 2-day meditation weekend. So in this weekend, you'll be introduced to different kinds of meditation, not only sitting, but also some active meditations. So this will give you a kind of opportunity to see which kind of meditation is helpful. So if it's anybody who would like to join that, you can call on the community phone and ask for Indira. She'll be conducting the weekend. Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that we've collected a very nice bunch of people who are coming with me to India. We're having a retreat in India from the 17th of December, just before Christmas, to the 7th of January, just after the New Year. It's in the south of India at a very particular place. So this is for 3 weeks. We have a nice bunch, but we still have space for a few more. So if you would feel inspired, then again, you can get in touch with Indira. Okay. Thank you.